The following podcast is scheduled for one fall. From the heart of Broadway and historic downtown Cape Girardeau, this is Pro Wrestling Unscripted.
It's Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019, in the year of our Lord 2K20, and this is Pro Wrestling Unscripted on the Podzilla 1985 network, glitch-free, with very, very little crashing. My name is Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host tonight. I am Mr. 100, still alive, less alive, and not here with us tonight. Asa Gray, the five-star man, who is at home right now in a NyQuil coma, a NyQuoma, as I call them.
That sounds like something the Dr. Pimple Popper removes.
Ugh. The big A, Allie A Bear.
Hi.
And Dalton, not actually a bear.
No.
And Dalton, not actually the Macho Man Anthony.
There it is.
And he can dig it.
Ooh. All right.
Plenty of people taking digs at you.
Motherfuck. Good thing 2K20 came out this week to
Took some of
distract
the heat,
from yeah,
took some of the heat off of you.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with that actually, because as we talked about last night on Mr. 100 and the 5-Star Man.
Yeah.
Dalton and I have been playing 2K20 for the past 24 hours, and we have gathered enough thoughts on the subject to give a full and honest review. And Jesse has his tier system for movies of, what is it, full price, matinee, or rental, or something like that. Let's say the scale for this one is buy it now, wait till it's used, burn it in a fucking dumpster.
I mean, there's rentals.
Nobody rents games anymore. Come on.
That's not fucking true. Game or
okay, so rush out and buy it now. Wait for it used. Rent it. Burn it in a dumpster.
There you go.
Where are you at?
Yeah. Rent it.
Where are you at right now?
Right now in its current state?
Yes.
Rent it.
Burn it in a dumpster.
Really?
And I bought it. And don't get me wrong, like I've had some fun with it, but like, and I'll get to why. But I kind of gave my piece yesterday to begin with, so I want to give the floor to you to start.
Yeah.
Now that we've been playing it for 24 hours, I dove into the creative mode a lot. I played a couple of matches here and there. I looked through the community creation, stuff like that. What have you been doing? What are your thoughts on the product as it is right now? Because I know this is a hot topic in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah. So I've played, if I was to put like an actual like numerical number of how many hours, I think I'm like 3-4 hours in. 3-4 hours in. I've mainly just been doing normal matches. I dicked around with the career mode a little bit. The career mode is ignorantly fun if you shut your brain off.
Yeah.
Like, if you just take it as, like, this is just a fun little story that you know is going to turn sideways, like, okay.
Shut it straight up that candy ass.
Right up that candy ass, although you couldn't say it because they were in high school, even though...
It's the KY plan. Allie, do you know what that is?
No, we're not doing that right now.
It's one of my favorite jokes, though. When The Rock says, yeah, you got your Y2J plan, well, The Rock's got the KY jelly plan. And then Jerry Lawler goes, you know what that is, JR? And JR goes, yeah. And Lawler goes, you do?
But it's a WWE game, but there is a lot of issues with it. They either should have pushed it back 2 months or they just shouldn't have made a game. And I know Ukes leaving put them in a really bad spot, it may not have been 2K's call. It may have been WWE being like, where's our game? They may have been in a contract where they have to make a game within so many months of itself. Mm-hmm. And from what I've heard, Ukes leaving, they lost like assets and stuff. You mentioned that yesterday.
There are a lot of things they had to start from scratch on.
Yeah, character models being one of them. There's a lot of things that's wrong with it. That being said, the roster's really good.
Roster is really good.
The gameplay is
not as good as last year's. Let's be honest.
Not as good as last year's, but all these glitches that everybody's talking about are glitches that I have definitely seen before.
Yeah, but I don't think I've seen this many together at once for so many people. You know what I mean?
That's fair, yeah.
Like, it's never been this bad before.
Yeah, it's just one of those, like, yes, the game is really glitchy. Yes, it was not ready to release, but it is not... I have seen so many unjustified hatred. We were talking about it earlier today. Somebody said, it looks like it was made on an N64. Go F yourself.
Yeah, because that's not true.
Their head isn't a square. That's how I know.
It's a 4K game. You can disagree with the character models that you want, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the game is significantly better than any wrestling game that was last generation, at least. Like,
yeah,
go play a 360 game. Go play 2K14. Beloved. It doesn't look as good as this.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Now, there are some things that like I do have like pretty solid issues with. The game should not be this buggy. The creation suite, which in fairness, like I mess around with the character, like the WWE superstars, and make like different attires, but I don't put logos in and stuff like that. If you try to put logos in, I've heard has been an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
The big one is they do the influencers thing every year where they let people come out, and fortunately, a lot of the influencers were honest about the game.
Honest but cautious is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, because they want to do it next year.
Compare a guy like Chris Dinker. And whether you agree with these guys or not, compare a guy like Chris Dinker's review to a guy like RGT85.
Yeah, one of them makes a lot more money than the other.
That's probably true. I don't know the financials. I know
Dinker does pretty good.
When it comes to WWE,
2K has put Dinker in video games.
Well, say when it comes to wrestling games, I would probably take Dinker's word over RGT85. But RGT85, because he doesn't have a deal with him, can be more brutally honest.
Yeah.
But almost to a point where it's a fault. You know, like it's the rage. Like I get the rage, and I've got rage of my own that I'm gonna spout whenever you're done.
Yeah. So my big one is the Bump in the Night DLC because the influencers got to play that entire tower. They got to play as the Fiend, which is cool. It doesn't come out until the 28th. Yeah, 28th, 29th. That really ticked me off whenever I heard about that. But then I realized 2K14 had 3 characters that were pre-order bonus. Well, not pre-order bonuses. Season pass exclusives.
Yeah.
You had to buy the season pass to get them. It was Paige and I think the Outsiders. And they weren't available until like a month after the game came out.
And if I remember correctly, the Paige one, something happened where it got ported to another system or something, and it was impossible to get Paige at that point or something. I forget what it was. There was some weird thing.
2K14 had a glitch that after you downloaded the NWO patch, or NWO DLC, if you try to get in universe mode, it would completely wipe your save.
Doesn't surprise me. They have the history of bugs in these games.
That was THQ. It was a 2K game, but THQ made it, and then 2K bought it out like last second.
Yeah, because that was right when they switched over, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there are a lot of glitches. The one things that I'm just like kind of want to mention is every wrestling game has glitches like this. It doesn't make it okay. I just don't think that it's getting the hate that.
So careful with your words; they're going to tear you apart.
Well, like, all right, fucking No Mercy, the greatest video game of all time.
That's Mario 3.
Well, the greatest wrestling video game of all time.
There you
go. It had a glitch in the cart where it would just delete your data.
That's true. I had that cart because I tried to play once, and all of a sudden my created wrestler was now stone cold generic.
Yeah.
Generic cold.
And like, yeah, they patched it.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. They made new carts.
Okay, but I say, yeah, no, they didn't patch it because we didn't have the technology. You sent it in, and they sent you another one.
Yeah, it was a patch, technically. They patched what was wrong and sent it back out.
Unless the mailman's name was Patch and he took it from you, then I disagree.
But patches shouldn't have to happen.
Okay,
I don't know.
I get your frustration, but
no,
there's something to be said that this is too much. There's a level of too much.
It is a lot, and I did say yes, they shouldn't have made it.
Here's my problem with it. My biggest problem with it, which I waited a day to find out because I needed to know.
Yeah.
I said it last night. What is 2K going to do about this? Well, here's what they've done in a day. In a day where this story has blown up. It's being covered by major news outlets. The BBC covered it. And I'm talking about the British Broadcasting Channel. I don't know what they're actually called, but it's not the big black cock. That's not what we're talking about with BBC right now.
BBC.
But they've covered it. All of these different sites, magazines, television shows, they're covering the horrible launch of 2K20. And it's not like it's a secret. This isn't whenever something bad happens, they say, we are aware that a small number of users are experiencing problems. That's not this. This is widespread. We've all, like, I've seen glitches. You've seen glitches. We've already seen them. I haven't seen the extreme ones.
Yeah, but we've seen like the whole kind of floating up and down, but that happened last year too.
So I've seen the little ones, but like it is such a thing that it is so pronounced. I thought, let's see what 2K does about this. Well, one day later, one day after launch, if you go to 2K's Twitter, there is not a single word about it. But what they did do is promote the Twitter Rivals thing, which took place today for a $50,000 tournament. They are acting like nothing's wrong.
Here's the thing, but
that is unforgivable to me.
But it's the thing that Asa said last night, which was they're not going to say, "Hey, we're fixing it" the day it releases.
No, but let's take a page out of Blizzard's book. when Blizzard suspended the player and then sat on it for how long as people raged.
I think that's two different things.
It's two different things in
now
significance, but at the same time, bad publicity is bad publicity. I'm comparing publicity. Blizzard got ran through the ringer on what they did, and these guys are getting run through the ringer by the people that matter most to them, the players and the attention that they're getting. You can't come back from this kind of bad press. They have to get ahead of it and say, would it kill them to put out a note that says, we are aware that users are having issues. We are working to resolve it. That's all it takes. And you don't even get that. You get, hey, game's out. Buy it now. Here's the tournament. And you go through those posts and see what everyone's replying. All the replies are, why is this game this way? When are you going to fix this game? And not a word to them. They owe the players at least a note that says, we're aware.
But here's the thing.
They're acting like nothing went wrong.
And I get what you're saying, and you're absolutely right, but they have a DLC coming out Tuesday.
Yeah.
Which means there's going to be a patch Sunday. So I'm willing to say some person at 2K, thank you.
What is it? Visual Concepts.
Visual Concepts is losing their mind, trying to patch as much as they can.
Dude, I can almost guarantee you, because I say it as in they're ignoring it. No, I guarantee there's guys right now sitting in front of computers sweating because they just see the nonstop barrage of bad publicity coming from this.
Yeah, because here's the thing, like 2K games, they patch like the wrestling games during their cycle of, let's say their cycle is 6 months, because that's about usually what it is, where they have 6 months where they support it and then it flounders and then new game. Mm-hmm. That 6 months, they patch a good amount of times. You're looking at a patch every other month.
Well, 2K20 for basketball apparently already has 7 patches. It was a broken mess, too. Not as bad as this, but it was bad, too.
But they monetize 2K, or they monetize the NBA game way more.
They do.
So you need that game. You have
to have it running better because people are spending real money on it.
Yeah, so
else it'll be Fallout.
Where that game is monetized, or that game's supported for about 9 months, and then 2 month layoff, and then new game.
Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. I know business. I know that you can't sell a game and admit its flaws because then people won't buy it. But to just sit on it and act like nothing's going wrong and then promote it as if there's nothing wrong without even admitting a fault, like, they need to do something, or else it's going to bite them in the ass. I say that knowing, as I said last night on the show, that the way the world works now is people get angry about something else and they forget. 2K21 will probably have more pre-orders than 2K20 ever did, and the cycle will continue. And I think next year's game will probably be a knockout, but I won't buy it. I say now.
I say there's a collector's edition. If there's a collector's edition, it's going to be mine.
I was
kind of bummed by the collector's edition this year.
Yeah, it was kind of weak compared to the last year.
Well, last year's was amazing.
Allie looked at it and said, "That's so small."
Seen enough was lame.
4 boxes have been like actual boxes, and this one was like a really thick. It almost looked like a VHS box.
A little bit, yeah. Because like the Ric Flair box was big.
Right.
Did you get that one?
No, that was the first one I didn't get because I wish
right.
I had, because it came with that replica ring, which was really cool.
Yeah, because we both got
pop.
And it was a Flair pop, right?
Flair pop.
Yeah.
He's no
Hogan.
Pretty awesome.
By the way, Hogan's in the game. Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
In red and yellow. And you can't change the tight colors.
Yeah, and you
can change it, but you can't change it to black and white. You can just change it to black and like gray.
And I can't download any new outfits for him because they have a classic Hulk on the download, but you can't download it because it says you don't own the DLC, even though I just played as Hulk Hogan. It's little glitches like that like it's inexcusable. It really is, because there are glitches on every level of this game. There are glitches when you try to download things. There are glitches when you try to create things. There are glitches in game. There are glitches in the music. Like, they clearly, the fact that they haven't said a word about it and they released it this way is 100% tells me that they knew what was wrong with it. They didn't do anything because they knew they'd patch it, and they're just hoping people don't talk about it.
They're just trying to
weather the storm,
weather the initial onslaught.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like, they've done patches that in the past. Now, this was whenever Ukes was around, so that's kind of the big thing where I bought it because I needed, like, I'm a collector and I like having, like, I'll have my NXT box next to my Cena box, next to my Flair box, next to my SmackDown box. But the patches in the older games, that fixed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think the glitches were ever so bad.
So as bad. Like, every patch we'll see for this game will say collision detection.
I think,
or targeting, or it's going to say, all of them are going to say fixing minor bugs for user interface conveniences. But like, and I'm not defending the game.
Like, take this for example. Last night I saw Dalton was playing. I was playing. We were both playing at like 1 a.m, and I decided what I did on 2K19 right before I traded it in to get this was I created I think Big Nasty had already created you, and I took his creation and I edited it and turned it into the Macho Man persona.
Yeah.
So I did that on this game, and I put DA on your shirt as a placeholder until I could get, because right now you can only upload, but you can't download. So I could take your Kingdom Hearts inspired logo, but I can't put it on your shirt because I can't download it.
That new one's so much easier.
So I was just going to put DA on there just for a placeholder.
Yeah.
But once I put DA on your shirt, I could no longer edit your entrances or anything, and it wouldn't load your character. So I had to delete the DA. And it's like little things like that. It's like, how did you miss this? Like, how did you miss all these things?
I don't think it was a miss. That goes back to what you're saying. It wasn't a miss.
No, they very much knew what they were doing. They put it out, and they're just like, it's going to be bad. Suffer through it. And if they put out a mega patch in the next week that fixes a lot of these problems, cool. I'll forgive them a little bit. I will. I think it was Hunter, though, in the group chat that said, can they fix it at this point? Like, with all these things that are wrong, will they ever get everything? And I think that's a valid question, because when it's 5 or 6 things that are wrong and they patch throughout the year, that's easier. But when it's so much,
it's just broken on a fundamental level.
It's broken on a fundamental level. Can they even fix it is the question. And if they can't, then what do we do?
I think it's going to be UI, and uploading and downloading will be the first thing they fix, because that's the big one right now.
Right, and probably online stuff.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after we get all that knocked out, then it'll be gameplay, and then it'll be like audio visual.
I really want. So my favorite part of the every year is,
in total fairness to the game, like they switched the controls up, and if it, like, because everybody, that's been one thing that a lot of people have been shitting on, is just like the new controls. The new controls are fine.
It took me a second to get used to.
If the game wasn't so broken right now,
there would be a bigger problem.
It would be just as fun to play as the other ones.
I think it was Dinker that said the controls were just switched around to say that they did something different, and I agree with him. There was no reason to change those controls.
Well, because word on the street is that Ukes is working on a new wrestling game.
Well, did you hear the reason behind it? The reason behind it is apparently because their explanation was the trigger, because it's pressure sensitive, makes it harder to reverse. So when you have to hit the trigger at the right time, if you don't press it down hard enough or whatever, it doesn't register it. By switching it to a face button, it's more instant. And when they said that, I kind of went, okay, I kind of get that.
But that's not true. Well, I mean, it's true, but in Madden games, I don't know, if I haven't played Madden in like 3-4 years, but like on the 360 and PS3 like generation,
yeah.
If you tapped the button, it was a lob pass. If you held the button down, it was
pressure sensitive.
It was pressure sensitive. Almost like if you didn't hit it in time, it wouldn't fucking work.
Right. Well, that's the reasoning, whether you like it or not. The only thing I don't like about the new button thing, and apparently it's a glitch, that sometimes the reversal prompt just doesn't pop up, and you can't reverse. So I've gotten my ass handed to me because I literally can't reverse. They're hitting me with moves, and there's no reversal option.
There'll be two patches within the next, maybe 3 patches within the next month. Because let me reiterate, there will be a patch coming up on like Sunday, between Sunday and Monday, because they had to get the
bump in the night
stuff. Yeah. And by that I mean they have to hit the button to activate it.
Yeah,
because it's
like when I got
because it's already fucking done.
Like when I got my deluxe stuff and I put in the code and it said, "You've unlocked the deluxe." I was like, "Cool." And I went to go install it and it was already installed. And I was like, "Of course it was."
Yeah, I mean, and that's the world we live in. Like, I can't shit on 2K for that. Because,
everybody does it
because Tekken is a thing.
Yeah,
and
the worst one was, I think it was Resident Evil. I forget which one it was, but like they sold you all this DLC day one that shipped. Like, no, it was, they had content for the game, wasn't released yet. It was coming out months later, but it was already on the disc day one. And it's like, so it's ready, but you're not letting, and they're like, well, this is common. You buy an unlock basically for it.
Yeah.
That's horseshit.
2K14, my favorite one, Ultimate Warrior, which was the first time he was in All-Stars, but it was the first time he was in an actual game since like 1995. And I pre-ordered it. You were standing. You were buying the game the same night I was. You were dressed in all of your Zack Ryder shit.
Woo woo woo.
And
you know it.
Well, that's woo woo
woo. I said woo woo woo.
Oh, it just sounded like woo.
No, that's because I slurred. So it just sounded like
woo. That's exactly how it sounded. But he was the pre-order bonus. Fucking stop. He was the pre-order bonus, and hit it, and the Xbox 360 did that awesome thing where if you downloaded something, it would give you like the screen, and it was just like downloading Ultimate Warrior, and it was like little sliver, completely done in 2 seconds. Oh, it was on disc.
Yeah.
You literally just gave me the license to play them.
Yeah, it's just an unlock code, which now it's sad, but I feel like now that's forgivable. It's like, okay, well, compared to what we're going through now, that's not so bad. But my message to 2K, if you're listening, and I know you are, is fucking say something.
Hey, if 2K, if you're listening and you want to get back at all these fucks that are getting really upset about your game and telling them on your influencer things, I'll send you my address. You can fly me out for a week. I'll play 2K21.
He'll lie. He'll kiss your ass.
Fuck yeah, I will. Do I get a free copy?
I won't. I will.
I didn't say send you.
I will be honest.
Do I get to meet Xavier Woods?
You know how you could tell it was going to be really bad?
Whenever Chris Dinker shit on it?
When, and not just Dinker, but like Pulse, all the guys that normally do it, when the first thing they do is go, okay, like they sigh, because they know they're selling out their
Pulse was...
they're selling out their integrity when they talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, but in fairness, like Pulse and Dinker, which those are the two that I don't know if Smack Talks was there. That's the one I like a lot.
I didn't see anything from Smack Talks.
But like Pulse and Dinker, they were both just like, we wish we liked the game more. In fairness, like they both were talking about that. It's like we wish we liked it more. It just wasn't. I don't know. Go rent it. Don't buy this game.
You should definitely rent it. I agree.
This is somebody that I buy every 2K. I buy the collector's edition. We just went over that. Do not buy this game in its current state.
You will be, at best, you'll be happy but frustrated. At worst, you'll be incredibly disappointed and you'll want a refund. Which PlayStation is offering refunds on all digital purchases.
Yeah,
which is insane.
I'm enjoying it, but I'm also not creating stuff right now. Now I'm just doing matches I want to see.
I'm enjoying it, but honestly, as I'm playing through it, there's parts of me that are just like, why? I could have just stuck with 19. Like, I don't know if there are things that I really like about it. I love the little things. I love the baseball field. I love the Winterfest arena. Like
WrestleMania 2029.
Yeah, there's so many little things that I like. Someone said it's a shame that this game is so fucking broken and unplayable because there's a great game hidden underneath it.
Yeah.
And I think they're right.
I think 2K has a good base if it wasn't fucking broken.
They have an opportunity if they can fix it. Instead of focusing on 2021, if they fix this, I think it could create a lot of goodwill and turn it around. But the question is, will they? And
I hope so.
We just have to wait.
Because I want to play like I'm going to mention this and then we can get off of it. I love the way they're doing their DLC this year. Because it's not the bullshit that I say bullshit, I'm usually okay with it, but like it's not the thing that I've dealt with the last like 6 years where it's all right, we have wrestler packs coming out. You're going to get like 6 wrestlers. It's going to be like, man, I can't wait to play as Samoa Joe, or I can't wait to play as Leo Rush and Ricochet. Now it's like, we're going to give you unique towers with unique arenas. And like, hell, Bray Wyatt's doing commentary on one of the towers.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they did a lot of little things.
Southpaw, because it's that 2K Originals thing. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Southpaw Regional Wrestling, which is one of my favorite things that WWE's done in the last like 4 years. Sorry. And I'm super excited to see what that DLC is going to be like. But I need them to fix the game. So if you're listening to this, I'm sorry we didn't go as hard on it as you probably like everybody else has.
I thought I went pretty hard.
That was fair.
To be fair. Well, that's the thing.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to.
We weren't insulting.
Yeah, I hate the super aggressive, like, what the fuck, you fucking idiots? This is the worst game I've ever played, and your failures as a developmental company.
We've played Bubsy 3D.
You have no idea what you're doing. I am a wrestling fan, and I am entitled to perfection, constantly. Perfect 10, 10, 10, 10. And then they go jack off to CM Punk videos. You know?
Is that where he's at right now?
I mean, he's not. I'm talking about those fans.
But don't go buy this game right now. Give it 3 months, see if they've actually patched to fix it. And if they do, get it on Black Friday. Well, that's next month. But get it like, hopefully somebody gives it to you for Christmas and they fixed it by then.
I agree with
Hopefully your
them.
aunt that's very tone deaf to video games picks it up for you, and I hope it's good by then.
This would be the perfect game to put on like Game Pass. Because, you know, for now, put it on Game Pass, and then once it's fixed, take it off and sell it. Because right now, the backlash is so incredible and the game is so broken that they're just hurting themselves.
Yeah.
But if they put it on Game Pass, let people play it, and then once it's in a fixed state, they go, okay, not even re-release, but just it's out
Here it
now.
is for $40. Yeah.
So good luck to 2K.
It's a charming game and it's a shame that it's broken.
I agree.
Yeah.
And fuck Riley Flash, you fake ass sexy Sarge
Oh,
O'Reilly.
I like Riley Flash because he's a fake ass sexy
Fake
Sarge.
ass sexy Sarge O'Reilly. All right, F-bombs galore today because Ace is not here. Fuck it. So,
Allie, you want to throw one out?
No, I'm good.
Allie, what do you think of 2K20?
It's a game.
The
stupid.
pictures online of people without their faces is super creepy.
Yeah, like
the
Becky
Becky
Lynch
Lynch
missing her face completely.
Yeah.
You like the video of Charlotte Flair flying around the ring, Sonic the Hedgehog style.
Or Ronda Rousey getting caught on
And-
one
and
side and the
jiggling
ring
around.
starts like falling apart.
Yeah, like, and I'm really mad about that because I haven't found those glitches. I want those glitches.
Yeah, we haven't been following the Fallout glitches. We were just finding like the weird little clips.
Yeah, the weird things that really irritate us. I want the one where like I'm gonna fly through the roof and sail away to a better game. You know, everyone's going like, oh, come on, AEW's gonna have their game. It's gonna be awesome. Like one, AEW doesn't have a game yet, and you don't know it's gonna be awesome. You know, a lot of people
the
said
company Aki is still around, but it's not Aki anymore.
Yeah,
If they got
and THQ is not around.
no,
Well, actually, I think THQ Nordic is, but it's different.
but that's not. I don't think Nordic is the one that did the wrestling
No.
games. But like, and I forgot that you would have to Google it. But
Also-
whatever Aki is now, if they were just like we got that company, I'd be like,
Yeah,
that's a good
I
sign.
was gonna say, you know who was really good at making games? THQ Aki. Not just THQ, because THQ put out all the SmackDown games, which were good, but they were the same game every year. Remember when that was people's complaints? Was
It's the same game every year.
It's the same
It's
game.
fucking
Oh, this is
quality,
broken.
yeah.
This is broken. This is broken. And then 2K20 came out, and everybody's going like, "Man, 2K12 was awesome." Like, no, it wasn't. You hated it back then.
In fairness,
You
I'm
fucking raging hipster.
the only game that 2K20, and this is way worse than 2K15. I actively did not like 2K15.
No one did. I don't.
The
I don't
only thing
think.
that helped 2K15 was
Terminator.
We all knew it was that was 16.
was Punk's last game?
Yeah, it was Punk's last game, and that they got sued for it too because they were like fucking with him.
I would honestly be surprised, or not be surprised, if we got lawsuits from this. Because
What do you mean?
people suing the company for this game wasn't what I was promised. It was put out in an unfinished state. Like lawsuits have happened for this stuff before.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
people
wanted
have
to know
ever
what you're
won them, but they have a good case on this because again, 2K did not in any way vocalize the problems that we're shipping with this game. They did not say, "Look, guys, there's going to be some problems. We're going to patch them. Just to let you guys know it's a rough road. We're pushing the game back a month to fix these problems."
I will say, and this is the real fucking bummer. They gave such a fucking push to this game.
They did hard. Some of
The
my favorite
commercials-
commercials. They were great.
If the game were nearly as good as the commercials,
Yeah.
this is better than No Mercy.
You talk about like some fun commercials.
Yeah.
The one where Hogan walks up to Austin and they start talking about who. There was no question who the best was in their day.
it was like Brett, Sean, and
and
Sting.
and they just keep showing up. I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then the game come out and everyone. I'm sure Hogan would say it's the best one he's ever played, brother.
Well, I mean, yeah, because WWE's finally giving him a check again.
Don't work yourself into a work shoot. It's when you shoot
Brother.
and work on yourself, brother. Let's move on. We
work
can't-
on yourself. I think that's what the guys watching the CM Punk videos are doing.
And that's what
But-
Hogan was doing
but
to
there's
Bubba
no-
the Love Sponge's wife.
But there's no work hold. It's all shoot,
Well, you work hold into the shoot. You work yourself into a shoot.
brother.
Brother. All right, let's move on because we can't talk about this. It's been 30 minutes we've been talking about it.
Well, good news is I don't have we have a lot of shit to cover, but not a lot of talk.
Right, because a lot of it's just kind of whatever. Like New Japan parent, nope. New parent in Japan, nope. New Japan Pro Wrestling
there you
parent
go.
company has purchased Stardom.
Cool.
Good. Yeah, yeah. I don't know
Well,
what
it's the
else
whole
to say
thing
about it.
when you're hearing like about the NXT Japan stuff. Like that makes sense that New Japan's just like, come here, Stardom.
Yeah, because apparently WWE tried to purchase it, or at least they were in talks or something.
Which New Japan, like, they don't have women's wrestling, so
Yeah. Stardom, I think, because didn't Io Shirai come from Stardom? If I remember correctly. And I think Kairi Sane, but I may be wrong on that one.
they might have been around. I couldn't tell you to be completely.
I'm not a huge fan of it, but I remember Shirai especially, which, by the way, Shirai was the first one that I remember seeing when they put out pictures of the characters. And they're like, look at Io Shirai's model. She looks terrible in the game. And I remember thinking like, yeah, it doesn't look great, but whatever. And then I saw everyone else and I went, oh, okay.
Just The Rock and Randy Savage. This is the worst
Oh,
ones.
Randy Savage is terrible. Some of them are bafflingly bad. The beards look bafflingly
I mean, that's
bad.
always been a thing.
Yeah, but you would think as the technology gets better. What was the last 2K game on 360? Was that 15?
They put, no, it was 14. Well, I mean, 15 was on it. 15 and maybe 16 were on the 360.
Because they were basically just roster updates, the previous
But
games.
the last main one,
Yeah.
14.
Because I remember on the last years of the 360 version,
I thought we were done talking about the game.
Well, we are. I just want to make a point that the 360 versions got slammed. 360 PSP versions got slammed compared to the new ones because they put so much of the resource into the new games, right?
Yeah.
I see a similar situation happening where the next title is going to be on PS5 and Project Scarlet.
Probably not.
I think it will be. I think it'll be.
Nope, because those are dropping in like November.
Exactly. I think it'll be a launch
think they-
title. I do. I think it'll be a launch, or it'll be ported over maybe later.
Because they waited a whole year to do 15.
They did, but I think especially now after this, I almost feel like they have to.
Gonna go guns blazing.
I feel like they have to. But anyway, yeah, we can't talk about that forever.
but good for New Japan. They got Stardom.
Also, New Japan announced New Japan Pro Wrestling of America, which great. Another place that some of our very talented friends can work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, because we got Marko Stunt's obviously in AEW, friend of the show. Damone Salavino working over in OVW now. I think Espy is working in OVW quite a bit too.
Espy's been at OVW for a long time.
Right. And this is a great place for guys like them because super insane talented people we have at CCW and Stride and all these other places. And it's great that there are more places to open. Chris Jones has to be ejaculating constantly.
I wouldn't say it like that.
I'm just saying.
I bet he's really excited.
He is, because he loves Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
And this is like tailor-made to Chris Jones, also a friend. Tailor-made for Chris Jones. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for them, and I want to see where this goes.
And it was cool, because I've been around the guys that made it to the, anytime New Japan did the dojo stuff. I've met a couple of guys that have done that, and they said that was a really good experience because you don't really get the Japanese style of wrestling in America unless you work those guys. Mm-hmm. Where it's it's cool to just have that there. You have the LA dojo, but it doesn't really work the same. It's cool that they may have an American contingent now.
Yeah. It's great that, again, the more options that we have. So now you have NWA Power, you have AEW, you've got Ring of Honor still, you've got Impact, you've got WWE, now you've got New Japan Pro Wrestling in America.
And it was the thing that I was talking about in the group chat where and I'm not good by any stretch of the imagination, but it's one of those things where I was it's wild to think that one day I may just get a dark match.
I think you need to step it up, though, because if I remember correctly, your character rating is 1 point lower than mine.
Well, I didn't make the game.
You didn't make the
That's
character.
how I know it was broken. That's how I know 2K20 is only a rental.
Because his character was
1 point lower than yours. And my stats were higher.
Wouldn't it be great if they did make a CCW game and we were in it? Even if I'm a manager or jobber, I don't care if I'm fucking Riley Flash. Yes. I would be like, holy shit, I'm in a game. Mikey's in a game.
It's like what Trey said.
Oh, it's one of the greatest honors. Yeah,
honors be immortalized in semi-posable plastic.
Yeah, that's a great storyline too. The storyline in 2K20 is amazing. The writing is really good.
No, the writing's horrible, but it's very charming.
The writing's terrible.
But it is very charming.
I wonder which either kindergarten or mental institution they went to get the writers for this one.
Yes.
Or maybe it was a crazy 6-year-old. I think it's the same guy
Nicholas.
that wrote the Fast and the Furious movies.
Really? I mentioned Nicholas and you didn't.
Because I hate Nicholas.
I love Nicholas.
Because that's stupid. That stupid.
Was fun.
That's more fun than, you know what? Let's move on. Eric Bischoff. As we know, he was fired recently. More details have come out about that. And it's kind of, we'll only touch on this for a second, but the basic of it was that Eric Bischoff didn't know the business anymore. When he came in, he didn't know the WWE roster. He didn't know, he wasn't good with the Fox executives. My favorite thing from it, and it's one that people have really hit on, was the complaint that once 7 o'clock rolled around PM, Eric was hard to reach when it came to talking about shows and stuff like that.
That sounds, from the podcast, 83 Weeks, that sounds right.
And it's stupid. Eric Bischoff is not a doctor. He is not on call 24/7.
If you work for the WWE, you are.
They don't hire you for 24/7. We
don't read those contracts.
That it's expected shit. As someone who has worked at a place, that I felt like I was on call 24/7. Mm-hmm. And I did it. And it's ridiculous. I get being passionate about the project and wanting it to work, but there comes a time when a professional organization needs to survive without you for a few hours.
And we have a friend that works basically on call, and this person knows who they are. I'm not going to say their name, but he was talking about how his company would call him on his days off.
Yeah.
And I was
Are you talking about me?
No.
Okay.
I was like, tell him to eat a bag of dicks, and he was like, I'm technically on call 24/7. I was like, well, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I think unless it's specific,
because he was on his anniversary and they were calling him, and I was like, I'd have told him to F off.
I've had the owner of this business that I'm at, who I love dearly, message me at 1 a.m, 2 a.m, call me at 1 a.m, saying hey, what's up with this transaction? And I eventually had to tell him dude, you can't do this. I'm not a doctor. You don't pay me like a doctor. I am not here at your beckon and whim.
And I have a quote unquote important job. They leave me alone after 3:15.
That's one thing I miss about Shoe Carnival. They didn't give a shit.
Yeah, now
I clocked out. I
might get an email, but if I don't check it, or if I don't quote unquote check it until 7:25 the next morning, nobody's gonna yell at me.
The same thing goes for me when it comes to people. If you message me and I don't get back to you for 6 hours, you can just expect it. I'm not on call for you. We're not family.
I don't know.
We're just friends.
I have seen the read, like where you'll message me first.
Yeah.
And then I'll reply, and then I'll see the read, and then I'll get a response for like 10
For
minutes.
hours.
Be like, what the Shannon?
Sometimes
you
I like
messaged me.
Sometimes I like to create drama and make you miss me a little bit more.
Well, I always miss you. Anyway, but yeah, no, apparently Bischoff just...
He 2K'd it.
Yeah, he phoned it in a lot. I could kind of see the writing on the wall whenever 83 weeks, because they kept doing the podcast whenever he was hired.
There, yeah.
Yeah, and like... I don't think he was really in it at all. And I like Bischoff a lot. I've liked him a lot more since the podcast with Conrad.
I do too. I was really hoping for good things.
But like they were still actively doing shows, like brand new shows, where like Bruce Pritchard, there's been a lot of clip shows since he got rehired.
Yeah.
Because Pritchard has shit to do.
Right. And Bischoff had all the free. He would leave the arena at 7:00, go home and start recording podcasts. They're messaging him like, "What do, Eric?"
I'm talking to Conrad. You mean that AEW fuck?
So
they very much know who Conrad Thompson is.
Eric's out. Pritchard's in.
So, sidebar really quick. I listened to the new Grill and JR, where it's Conrad and JR, and JR was going like chapped ass off on these guys, like saying that he's lost passion for it and all that. And he was like being disrespectful towards Jungle Boy and stuff like that. He was just like, I've never heard JR like this. It was the greatest thing ever. If you can just go back and listen to this week's episode after you listen to our great podcast.
Yeah.
It's amazing to hear him just get really shitty about internet people.
Hey, speaking of Jungle Boy, last week our good buddy Marko Stunt made his debut in a tag match.
Well, the TV debut. He was on. He was
on Dark.
He was on the first episode of Dark, which is pretty cool in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think any of us would kill a chance to be on Dark or on their website or in attendance at their shows.
Yeah, I couldn't get tickets.
Marko made his TV debut. He teamed up with Jungle Boy because unfortunately Luchasaurus is hurt.
Yeah, hamstring.
And Asa, according to Asa, his segment was one of the few segments that actually gained viewers.
It did,
which is neat.
And it involved Marko, so there was a lot of controversy.
To the point that Chris Jericho actually came out. I know Tommy Dreamer did too, and Jericho came out in support of Marko. And it's crazy to think in the year of our Lord 2K20, that it's still a thing of that guy's. Like, I get it. I have some Jim Cornette style views. I do. I hate invisible wrestlers. I hate blow up dolls. It's not for me. I don't like it.
Yeah, but
like if you can't see value in a guy like Marko Stunt, and you're saying things like, "Well, he's too small." Look, I've said it too. Full disclosure, before Marko, I knew Marko very well. I said in private, because I would never disrespect the man and try to hurt his abilities, that I was worried that he would never get a deal or be taken seriously because of his size. I said that.
It was also, it's super important to note, and like I'm not undercutting you or anything. It's super important to note that we were making these comments pre-AEW announcement.
Yes.
Pre-all in.
I mean, really,
because we've known Marko for 2-3 years.
This was right after, I think this is right when Marko was catching his stride, and he was like, it was right after he left the newish Roscoe Eat Lisa with Mikey. This is when he was really coming out as a single star.
Where he was traveling a lot.
Right. And I said, I'm worried that because of his size, and I never said he wasn't good. I just said I'm worried because of his size that he'll never be taken seriously. But... And I'm still worried about that, but he's made it. He's on AEW. He's entertaining the crowds. He has the skill set and the personality to do it. So why is this still an issue of he doesn't deserve to be there? Like, that's insane to me.
The reason is, and this isn't me being like...
He's little.
Yeah, he's small. And spoiler alert, he's small.
He's tiny.
So, Big Show has always been eliminated from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Every fucking year.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman has never won a Royal Rumble except for the greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, well, that was the greatest.
It was the greatest, in fairness.
The greatest.
No, you don't do this while I'm making a point. We all know what wrestling is. So I don't understand why this is the shut off of somebody's suspension of disbelief versus something else. Now, granted, you said you don't like the blow up dolls and the Invisible Man stuff, and like I get that, I totally do. I like it. I see wrestling more as a
performance art,
and that is a personal preference thing. Whenever you have some people online saying that was the worst tag match ever, that was the worst televised match of all time,
why are the Lucha Bros selling for him?
Yeah, why? Well, it's because they're fucking professionals.
Yeah.
That's why.
And the script called for it.
Yeah, like
it's the same.
You know
reason-
what happened? Fucking Ray Phoenix said, Penta's gonna lift you up, throw you into me, and you're gonna hit me with a DDT.
Yeah.
And then guess what? In the match, Penta picked up Marko, threw him at Ray Phoenix, and he fucking hit him with a DDT.
There are so many parts of wrestling you can make that argument with. Like, when that guy threw him into the ropes, why did he bounce back like a fucking boomerang?
So
why is that guy standing there waiting for that other guy to jump on his face? Because it's wrestling.
Yeah, it's and the whole thing of like, well, they shouldn't be selling for Marko. Fucking why? Why? He hit him?
He slammed his face into the mat.
Yeah, have you ever...
You get your face slammed into the mat by a guy who's really short, and tell me if it hurts more or less than a guy of average size.
Yeah, so like, and here's the thing. It's not like he was manhandling the Lucha Brothers.
Right.
There was literally spots where Penta he threw him at Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, he wasn't Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. It's super believable. That Marko was hitting stuff out of that. And then he was flipping around and hitting people with that. It's almost like he was using his speed to his advantage against luchadors.
Which makes sense. It's a sensical spot.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was fucking hitting Hogan leg drops and being like, keeping him down for 3.
He wasn't like throwing people around with Germans and,
Yeah, like it was believable offense. And yeah, you cannot like him because he's small. That's okay, I guess. Because it goes back to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new movies.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, well, they just don't look realistic enough for me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you're mutant turtles.
Are you talking to me specifically?
It was somebody.
I was like, because I don't like the looks of them, but like I have both of the movies. So.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sorry that this not real thing isn't real enough.
Right. And I said that I don't like blow up doll matches and invisible people, but you know what I've also never done is go online and talk about how the people who are involved with it are the worst people in the world. And although it would be funny to say, why is he selling for that invisible guy?
Like, now the one thing I will say that was my favorite thing, because like I'm a part of a lot of Facebook groups involving wrestling, which I need to start deleting myself from.
Yes.
But one of them said, why the fuck is Marko Stunt a thing? Now, of course, like, this is some motherfucker in Minnesota that doesn't know
masturbating to CM Punk videos.
That doesn't know that. And I don't comment on anything because
you have to resist the urge to get mad because these are people you know now.
Well, that and like
that's what I feel.
It's also one of those things. Like, I feel like not knowing Marko, I would still really be a big fan of Marko. Like Marko isn't that really cool line of wrestling that I like, where like he can do a lot of cool shit.
Marko has it.
Yeah, he does, and he is a very likable person in real life, and that translates to.
He touches me a lot.
Same, not inappropriately.
No, inappropriate. Okay, you did the finger thing. Okay,
yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
but like
not inappropriately.
Like, it's hard for me to make comments now because I know him,
right?
And not only that, he's helped train me. So like, it's hard for me to be like, no, he's fucking great. He is. But I don't need to say it. Like, I know he's great. A lot of AEW, like, he has a lot of people behind him in AEW.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, when Cody and Jericho are on your side, then
who the
fuck are you?
Who the fuck are these internet guys?
Right.
But
and you have a right to your opinion.
Yeah. But it can be wrong.
But for fuck's sake, be civil about it.
Yeah.
And we say as I say, they jack off to CM Punk videos.
Well, I mean, we're being civil. We're not saying like
I never called him out by name, and I could.
Yeah.
I know a couple.
But the only one that made me laugh was, I just don't like him because he flosses. That was legitimately funny because he did do that.
And to be fair, I also don't like when he flosses.
Yeah, but like, it's just one of those things. And I'm so upset that one of my friends is like had a match on TNT primetime, and this is what I have to talk about. I don't get to talk about how fun that match was because, by the way, it was really fun. If you haven't seen it,
I only got to see spots from it.
Like,
I didn't get to see the whole match.
I know, like, we are working through our format change, but if I get the one thing to watch from last week, go watch that match because it was a lot of fun. Like, Jungle Boy is one of the most dynamic superstars they have on the AEW roster.
That whole trio.
Yeah.
That trio is amazing.
Marko is phenomenal. And you put them in there with the Lucha Brothers, who are honestly the best tag team going right now. And it was so much fun.
Better than party time? Private Party?
Are you talking about Street Profits or
No, Private Party. Because they were fun too. That was the first time I ever got to see them was against the Bucks, and I liked it.
Well, I don't think you've watched a lot of Lucha Brothers things.
I haven't.
You need to. I think you would. There's stuff with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go watch them. They're really good.
I love that tag teams are still a thing.
Yeah, and AEW, like,
division.
that is one of the big things from AEW is doing right now.
Yeah.
And AEW's tag team roster is phenomenal.
Which is great because WWE are so hot and cold on it.
And they have the WWE, in fairness, has a really good fucking tag team division.
I agree.
And then they just make random tag teams like Rude and Ziggler, and they're like, now you're the champions. Be like, you have the Revival right there.
Or as I call them, Rugler.
But go out of your way to watch it. It was super awesome to see Marko on TV. Like, I was sick last week, and I knew because Lori texted me like an hour before we recorded. She was like, hey, I was about to take a nap and just wait for Sadie to get off for me to go. I was going to go pick her up. Lori said, hey, Marko's going to be on. Make sure you're watching. And I'm like, well, I'm sick as balls right now, but I'll just kind of. And it was
And
really
it actually healed you. Watching Marko Stunt healed your sickness.
It made me happy.
Yeah, you were no longer sick. You actually grew limbs that were that
I have a tail now.
Midgets grew, limbs grew back. Baba Sadambe. Oh, sorry. A little tongue there for a second. Oh, the spirit of the Lord got me. Let's move on, though. Marko Stunt's a great.
But yeah, congrats, Marko.
Congrats, Marko. Congrats, everyone in AEW. Congrats, everyone working hard in this business.
Yes, I hope.
Minus a few dickholes.
Cornette.
Even bless him.
Yeah, let's turn another cheek to that. He won't.
He's never killed anybody.
Not yet.
He's only incited.
I really hope Luchasaurus gets better. Like, I hope he gets better. Like, I hope his hamstring injury heals up really good because I want to see Luchasaurus and Marko team together.
Me too, because I hope he doesn't go extinct.
You really proud? You proud of that one? Did you see the picture of them three? Like, Luchasaurus was on the table,
and Marko's wearing his mask,
sitting down in front of him in his mask. I was like, I showed Sadie that, and I was like, that is the most Marko picture.
That could be
I've
a
ever
game over
seen.
screen from a Super Nintendo side scroller.
It fucking could be.
Like,
yeah.
I want that game. A boy and his dinosaur.
I like a
Marko
boy,
Stunt.
and his dinosaur. They have the coolest tag team names in AEW.
Boy.
A boy, and his dinosaur, and the Jurassic Express.
I like the Jurassic Express.
They're
Anyway,
fun, but
we got to see that.
How much time we got?
All right, Xavier Woods. Speaking of injuries, Xavier Woods is injured, and it might be bad.
if it's his Achilles, yeah.
We were looking at a possible. Originally, they thought it was not a tear. The thing that's not a tear.
A sprain?
Sprain, would that be the right term? But it looks like it might actually be a tear, and he might actually be out for a considerable amount of time. Now,
If it's your Achilles, it's like 9 to 10.
the good thing about Xavier is he's so talented, and he has so many other avenues to go while he's waiting.
They can put him in a wheelchair and roll him out
With the New Day, and he can
with
just
the
play
New
his
Day, and he
trombone.
can do his shit. Yeah. Now
And,
I hope
then he's got up, down, down. Like,
Yeah.
dude's an entrepreneur.
I hope if he needs surgery, they give him at least enough time for it to heal.
Right. Don't put him back too quick. Also, Xavier Woods, friend of the show, can prove it. Hung out with him in a parking lot for 30 minutes and played Battleborn with him. Yeah, we sucked.
Yeah, and then he unfriended Asa off of what?
Yeah, because of that reason. But you know what joke was on him? Battleborn sucked.
Yeah, so y'all lost.
So everybody sucks.
Let's see. Joey Ryan signs with Impact. I'm very shocked by that.
Are you going through my list now? Are you trying to rush the stories? Joey Ryan signed with Impact.
You son of a bitch. You literally made that last 5 seconds longer.
Well, I think it's cool. I'm also surprised by it because Joey was so big on I'm going to stay on the indie scene, and then he signs with Impact. That's weird.
Because he said, I'm going to stick with independent wrestling, and that was
6 months ago?
not even.
Yeah. But good for Impact. You got a fantastic talent.
6 months ago would have been... Yeah, because it was after Super Show that he made that announcement.
Yeah.
But I think it's weird because AEW is the thing.
You think it's odd that he signed with them instead of AEW?
Yeah, because
I think
he's buddies with the Bucks, and you assume he's buddies with the Bucks.
I feel like, though, AEW at this point, the roster is so bloated with so many incredible
Characters.
characters, that I think he'll do better on Impact because Impact's doing well, too.
I think
but
as long
they're
as he's
still
not-
in a position where they need
Yeah,
like, they
I think
need
as
people.
long as he doesn't go to WWE, blah, 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 easy for me to say, WWE,
Blah, blah.
he will be a big-time player because as long as you're not in WWE, you can have the penis flip.
Yes. Which actually leads us into our next segment. It's one of our favorite games here on the show is raise your hand if you've grabbed Joey Ryan's penis.
It's a great visual.
Just me. All right. So here's the other game, though, that is attached to it. Raise your hand if you've grabbed the penis of the guy who grabbed Joey Ryan's penis. Raise your hands. We got 2, 3. Yes! Everybody's grabbed my penis.
I think Ethan
Did
nodded.
Ethan raise his hand?
He nodded his head.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Penis
Ethan's in
is
the
all
peanut.
around.
Ethan's in the peanut gallery.
The penis gallery.
The penis gallery. Yeah.
Oh, God.
AC
Did
Romero.
you somehow say
My
okay,
Google just activated. It wants to find penises. No, Google. No, thank you, Google.
No, Google. Find penises.
No, Google, don't listen to him.
Ace Romero signs with Impact too.
I'm surprised about that, too.
Really?
A little bit, because I think Ace Romero is such a good indie talent. I'm surprised WWE either didn't look at him or didn't book him for like NXT or something like that. Or AEW, I think, could also be a place, especially with Marko over there. And
he was at a Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
Because
he was in the Battle Royal, wasn't he?
He killed Marko when he pounced him out of the ring.
Yes. He's a large man. So
he's
again,
really good. Like, yeah, I like Ace Romero a lot.
Again, congratulations to Impact. Those are two great signings. Might I suggest my friend, Dalton Anthony? Because I know you need another Jay Lethal, and you need a guy that can do a mean macho man.
You can find way better.
Let me introduce you to my friend. Let's move on.
If that got me a contract, I owe you a Pepsi sometime.
That would be funny if they were just like, let's look into this Dalton fellow, and they just looked at a picture of you from the show over the weekend.
They're like, got it. We understand.
Sign him.
Yeah.
Sign him. Alicia Fox moved to the alumni section of the WWE website, so it looks like she may actually finally be gone.
Well, she was in the Legends category on that one Raw reunion show.
Which is insane to me that like she didn't get fired after the incident with Arn Anderson.
Well, it goes back to I don't think you can fire her for that.
For being drunk at a show?
If she claims that she has a problem.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Like I remember the King of the Hill episode.
Yeah, that's kind of where my precedent is.
Right.
I don't know how strong that is. I'm assuming it's only gotten stronger though.
Right.
But the Arn Anderson one you can kind of understand more because he put her out there.
He made the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you also know that he signed a what's the disclosure agreement? What's it called?
Non-disclosure?
Yeah, so he'll never talk about it.
About the Alicia Fox incident?
Yeah, which is such a bummer because I want to hear Arn Anderson talk about it.
I would too. My question to you is, do you think Alicia Fox is done in wrestling, or will anyone pick her up? Let's go to Allie first, who is not paying attention.
No, I am. I don't know.
Like, you've seen Alicia Fox sparingly. Do you think there's any upside to her? And do not look at Dalton right now. You might be feeling the wind from his hair. Yeah.
See what he's doing. I don't know, because they
dizzy.
were having a lot of issues with her near the end, so I don't know.
Very much so. And it's not like she was ever the most important person in the show anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
You would have to get Noam Dar for her to be fun.
The last thing I remember her doing that I thought was fun, I liked her crazy character. When
Survivor Series. Oh, yeah.
When she grabbed the cowboy hat from JBL and was like going nuts.
She hit Nia with the box of tissues. And then like realized she had to go back into crazy.
That was pretty funny. So I think that she is talented, but like in a sea of talented women, I think she's not going to stand out.
She got phased out.
Yeah.
And I think right now in the landscape of women's wrestling,
there's no place.
Even the hot one can work. Like Scarlett Bordeaux. Like,
yeah.
She's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of your precedent right now, where, like, even the one where that her character is I'm really hot.
Which, there are two female wrestlers that I thought were really good that, according to at least the reviewers on 401 Mania, which, as you know, is the gold standard for professional wrestling reviews.
Pewter.
They really shit on Tennille Dashwood and Leva Bates. In fact, Leva Bates specifically, they were reviewing her match against, I think, Nyla Rose from Dark this week.
Yeah.
And they said 14 years later, and she's still a shitty wrestler. How is that possible? And I thought,
what have they done?
I thought the internet, I thought Leva Bates had a good rapport. Like, I thought people were up on her.
I mean, whenever she was on NXT as Blue Pants, yeah.
I thought she was, she was fun.
Leva Bates is really good.
Yeah, I don't see that. And Tennille Dashwood, I've always thought was an upside talent.
Yeah.
Her name is Tennille Dashwood.
Yeah, she has a really good.
That's her real name.
Yeah.
What a name.
It's one of those things, like, whenever I hear that now, I'm like, what have they done?
With Tennille?
Well, no. What have they done to warrant that person being like, they're a bad wrestler? Now, sometimes you can see it, but
Nia Jax, I don't think is a great wrestler at all.
But she's good at what she does.
But compared to like Tennille Dashwood or Leva Bates, I think they're much better wrestlers than she is.
Well, that's different styles. But yeah.
Speaking of names, do you know what Trish Stratus' real name is? You talk about cool names.
Oh God,
hers isn't. It's Patricia Strategius.
Yeah,
Strategius.
I guess.
Is that a board game?
Also,
That's
Trish Stratus is only 43 years old. She could come back tomorrow and wrestle for another...
And still be the same age as AJ.
Well, no, she's a woman, though, so she was expired 20 years ago, apparently, according to fucking...
Jerry Lawler.
Fucks. Yeah, fuck them. Anyway.
Where are we at now?
Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali is going to donate his check from Crown Jewel to charity, which is the most subtle middle finger you can give.
Yes.
I have to work the show? Cool. They can have my money.
Yeah. Which that's...
It was like when Rey Mysterio, when he was like, you're sending me checks? I'm not going to cash them.
But this is different. Like, that's just Rey Mysterio just being like, F you, WWE.
Double birds.
This is Mustafa Ali taking a big payday and being like, I'm going to give it to charity. Because Mustafa Ali is the most wholesome human being. Y'all follow him on Instagram?
No, I don't follow many people on Instagram.
Go do it because it's the best follow you'll ever have.
Can I say this about him?
Yes.
Ruggedly handsome.
Yes.
Handsome man.
He definitely is.
Yeah.
He is the most wholesome human being in the world. Like, for real. Like, this is the same guy that has bought supplies for random teachers for their classrooms. This former cop, like one of the good ones apparently. And like
bold statement.
I mean, I was never pulled over by him.
Who's your favorite wrestling cop? There's only one answer.
Big Boss Man?
No, I was gonna say Rico.
Oh shit, you're going shoot cop.
I'll
Okay.
go shoot cop.
Oh, I was gonna say if you go down to Cobb County, Georgia.
Oh, you go serve hard time. Yeah, no doubt, brother.
Let's say the only good answer is Boss Man. But super awesome he's doing this. This wasn't put in the group chat for this, but during Crown Jewel 57 Blood Money, Pro Wrestling Tees is running a sale on, they're calling it the Dream Match shirt. It is a shirt that has the tail of the tape for El Generico versus Sami Zayn. And all of the proceeds to that shirt goes to Sammy's for Syria.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I think that's Sami Zayn's another big middle finger to WWE and Saudi Arabia. I'm probably going to buy this shirt because it has El Generico and Sami Zayn on the same shirt. Because did you know that Sami Zayn was trained by El Generico?
Allie, just drop your phone.
Yes, she did.
It slid out of my lap.
Well, if you'd have it on the table like a couple of professionals.
And also
So
turn
it
your
can
ringer off.
vibrate?
Fair enough. All right, so Mustafa Ali, Impact, and Ethan Page teasing a TNA-themed one-night-only
So
special.
I saw that Cody Rhodes is apparently teasing a major announcement about his future in AEW tonight on their show. And
You mean he's going to keep owning it?
yeah, I was like, what could his announcement be? I'm still rich and handsome. I'm still married to one of the most beautiful women in the world. Cool. Thanks, Cody Rhodes.
And has the cutest dog that he shouldn't have put pyro around.
My brother is one of the most respected veterans in the history of the industry. Good for
My
you.
dad is Dusty Rhodes.
is Dusty Rhodes. I look like a villain from the King of Fighters game. Good for you, you fuck.
Love Cody Rhodes.
Well, guess what, Cody? Guess what I did today? I went to work.
So did he. Made way more money than you.
Yeah, well, he makes in a day what I make in a year. So good for
Oh,
him.
sweetie.
Good for him.
I got some bad news for you.
And yeah, he totally deserves it with his hard work ethic.
He's an insane human.
Oh, I was being honest. I'm sorry if that sounded sarcastic. Sometimes I can't control it. Yeah, Impact and Ethan Page are teasing a TNA-themed one-night-only special for WrestleMania weekend. Now, what we mean by that, because I looked into this, is that they're actually teasing it as the name TNA. Like, this is going to be a throwback episode with, like, kind of like the WWE does when they do their throwbacks and they have the old logos and stuff. So they're trying to reach out to a bunch of TNA names. They also reached out to the Young Bucks.
And then the Young Bucks said if we do it, we want to do Generation Me versus Motor City Machine Guns one more time.
Yeah.
I've been stuttering a lot this episode, and I apologize.
I would love to see that match because Motor City Machine Guns are probably one of my favorite, one of my favorite tag teams of all time. Chris Sabin is one of my favorites of all time.
And that was the one that I was upset that it wasn't at the TNA show.
Same.
in Cape.
Yeah,
I wanted
he was
to
the
meet
reason
him.
I got upset.
Just
at that
won the
show.
belt that week. That was the bummer.
Hail Sabin. That was actually the first time I saw the Young Bucks. I saw them as Generation Me.
Yeah.
And I thought they were impressive. I didn't know that they became the Young Bucks 2 years later and that like they took off, strapped a rocket ship on
Owned
them,
the
and
wrestling
flew
world.
away.
Yeah. Owned the wrestling world, though it was anything that wasn't WWE.
So that's pretty cool. And I think obviously running at WrestleMania weekend has kind of become a wrestling weekend at this point.
Yeah, and that's
everybody
what it is.
runs shows. So
I know-
good for them. I hope for the best.
I know, like, the way that you feel about wrestling, like, you're kind of getting burnt out by it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I understand that. But I think if there was a WrestleMania in Chicago, and I was like, hey, like, $1,000 the whole weekend, we can go to 2 shows plus WrestleMania, and that covers, like, our room, because that's about what I spent for New Orleans. I think you would have a blast.
I don't know, man.
Because, like, there's so much, and it is a super positive, and I was in New Orleans, a.k.a. a trash town. And
that's why the Lord tried to take it away.
yeah, like it's a bowl of soup surrounded by water. It was the most positive atmosphere I have ever been around with involving wrestling.
I think my problem with watching wrestling now is, and I know I'm not a wrestler, but my problem with watching
You've had matches.
my problem with watching wrestling is that now that we've worked in the business officially, it's hard not to. I don't know. I love
how the sausage is made.
Yeah, and I love the creative side of wrestling. Like I love the creative. I love I love the writing. I love the theatrics. And I don't love a lot of what I see nowadays because I'm the kind of person that now that I've been in wrestling, I want to fuse wrestling with my storytelling that I've always done my entire life. And wrestling is a lot simpler than the stories I want to tell, and I get frustrated. I try to layer things like an onion, but wrestling is a very basic monster. Foreigners are bad. Hot women are catty sluts.
Yep.
And all black people have to have rap music as entrance themes.
That's not true.
That's only in WWE, I think.
Hollis has Dawkins.
Love Hollister. Well, Hollis is the biggest Uncle Tom I've ever met.
He has recently been saying, I'm whiter than Dalton. That was a verbatim quote from Chaffee.
By the way, the Uncle Tom joke, Bradley from the LA Hustlers. I'm not taking credit for that.
Also one of my favorite human beings.
Yeah, the hustle. I told Ace this, that of all the people in House 100 that I've really gotten
I
attached
listened
to
last night.
Yeah, the Hustlers are the ones that I like feel them, other than like Austin. And maybe Justin, but Justin...
I mean, you're friends. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
you're friends in the Hustlers.
Justin and I see life very differently.
Yeah.
But the Hustlers are just so much fun. Anyway, last thing, NWA's pay-per-view, Into the Fire sells out.
Good for them.
Good for them. I love when people are succeeding.
I haven't seen any of Power yet.
But I really want to. I love that setup. I cannot describe to you how much I love. Allie, have you seen the NWA Power setup?
It looks like an old 1980s TV show.
It's a throwback to the old school like wrestling where like they have the ring and they have the crowd like on one side, and then on the other side they literally have like a studio place where they do like interviews, commentary, stuff like that. It looks amazing.
Yeah. It's
I'm
one
in
of those
love with
things
it.
in today's, like, I personally don't like it, but I don't like it, and whenever I give my excuse, it's kind of hypocritical of what I usually like in wrestling, where I'm like, it's too different. But I like Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan.
And this is like geared for me. Like this is old school as hell. Yeah.
And like they have a good roster.
They do.
Like I just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. Everybody at Stride seems to love it. That's the one thing I keep hearing is you need to watch Power. And I'm like, I'm watching AEW. But that's the kind of wrestling I like.
Hey, it's almost like you have a choice now. And you can spin it. You can spin the choice.
Yeah, you can. Like it's super awesome. I can watch like I DVR. It's a bummer that NXT and AEW are on the same night. Yeah. That's the thing I hate.
When's that Night Wars, man?
Well, it's just one of those.
I love some shit, man.
I love 90% of the NXT roster, and I love. Let me running down the list. I love the entire AEW roster. But that's the kind of wrestling I like.
So I love all the rosters on all the shows because these guys, they work so hard. Even the people that, and I'm not criticizing you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I turned your thing into a thing. But truthfully, like these guys work so hard until I'm never going to be the guy that says until you've been in this business, you don't understand, because you can understand, but you do get a whole new respect for it when you get up close. Yeah. Watching you train changed my vision of wrestling. When I started managing, being out there at ringside and watching what these guys go through, being in on the meetings, talking about the matches, like these guys have worked so hard. God bless almost all of them.
Yeah, no, and
except like 3.
There's like, why does somebody look like that's beating me? Or why do I have to lose to somebody that looks like that? The amount of wrestling that you can watch is, and the dichotomy of it.
Oh, but I can't watch that much. That's just fake.
Like, it's so much. You're such a dick. Like, if you like sports entertainment, if you're a big Roman Reigns fan, watch.
So, like,
SmackDown.
All of wrestling?
Well, go watch SmackDown. Go watch Raw. If you like more technical wrestling, the NXT on Wednesdays.
Or NWA Power.
Or NWA Power. Yeah. If you like crazy high spot bullshit matches that Cornette hates a whole lot, let me tell you about AEW Dynamite. And it's all good. It's all quality. Now, again,
and if you like dumpster fires, play 2K20.
Yeah. WWE has your back.
They got you covered.
Yeah. It's
They'll
just
leave a light on for
it's
you.
awesome. I've watched so much wrestling in the last 3 weeks.
Don't you get sick of it though?
No, not really.
Like I hit a point. Maybe I just need to find the right wrestling because I keep watching WWE because for this show.
I suggest
basically.
NWA.
I'm going to check it out. You know what? I'm going to take you up on that offer.
Because here's the thing.
I'm going to check it out.
You can watch 3 hours of just clips of WWE, and that'll cover your entire week.
Which is what we do.
Or you can watch 1 hour of Power and try to
the Power Hour.
Damn, that was good. That was really good on their part. I didn't even catch that until just now. Good for NWA. That's not a sentence been said in 20 years.
That's as easy.
Go watch Power. That's my homework. Don't watch any WWE this week.
Watch Power.
Just watch NWA Power. I'm going to watch NXT. I've already seen Raw. Wasn't really impressed. I'm going to watch NXT. I'm going to watch AEW this weekend. And I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, hey, speaking of impressive, let's wrap this up really quick. Let's talk about CCW. We had Hardcore Halloween 3.
Ellsworth.
Wait,
it was hard.
Is this the argument we had? It's 4.
No, this
No,
is
it's
3
3.
because Red Devil's Revenge
Devil's
was the
Revenge
first
was the
year,
fourth one,
and
yeah.
then they changed it to where we had 2 shows in October, and they added Hardcore Halloween.
Because the first Hardcore Halloween was Matthias.
Oh, it's 4 then.
Matthias versus
3.
What was Ellsworth then? Was that? Oh, that was
Red Devils.
That was
Okay.
yeah.
Yep, it is 3.
Because it was Matthias versus Abyss, and then year 2 was
Marko Austin in the main.
Yeah.
They did that one big match because
Yep.
September was actually PCO because that was my first match.
Yep, and then this year we had Raven there.
Yeah, so it was 3. My bad.
And Allie, I have a question for you about Raven.
Uh-huh.
Why is a Raven like a writing desk?
I don't.
So Raven was pretty cool. Raven's a personal, not hero. He's not a hero, but I kind of idolize him. His character. Everyone will say Raven is one of the best characters of all time. He really
He
is.
is, yeah,
Watch his
there's
ECW work. Watch his WCW work. His WWF stuff was okay.
So if you hear him ever talk about what he was trying to do with Sunday Night Heat, he was trying to make like the 7 Deadly Sins, and they were just going to make Sunday Night Heat Raven show.
Instead, Stevie Richards got it.
Yeah.
With Victoria.
Yeah.
Stevie Night Heat. So Raven was on hand. It was a fantastic show. We want to thank all the CCW fans that came out and watched. It was during FearCon, and there was probably a little miscommunication about where it was. Apparently, some of the fans and one of the wrestlers went to the wrong building.
Well, that was a rib. And the greatest rib of all time. He told me that. Because I didn't. So Bradley showed up 10 minutes before our match. And somebody involved with the match was kind of freaking out about it because he's never wrestled the Hustlers before. This is old shoe for me at this point because I've wrestled them like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we're good.
With 2 different partners. 3
different partners.
4, technically. Joey Ryan, Marko, Sarge, and
that was a
Slammer.
6-man.
Yeah.
But like, just because like I asked Bradley after we got there, I was like, dude, why were you so late? Because like I'm used to Bradley showing up like right when the show starts.
Yep.
And he was like, Jason sent me to the wrong building on purpose. And I was like, was it on purpose? And he was like, yeah, because I walked through and there was 3 dudes without heads on and I left. I lost my fucking mind laughing at that.
Yeah.
Anytime I get to work the Hustlers, it's...
And Dalton needed a laugh because Dalton was the punching bag of the night by far.
Usually I don't earn it that well. Like usually it's just like...
This wasn't even your fault. So Dalton basically is now the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Which like, this is something different and something fun.
It sure is different.
And like...
But that's not why we made fun of you.
Yeah, no, it was the attire.
Allie, why did we make fun of him? What do you look like?
Because you put on those glasses and it reminded me of the picture I saw of Post Malone when he was really wearing like kid glasses. And I'm pretty sure he posted that picture saying that he was going to go hunt some ghosts.
Of course he did. So Allie said that Dalton looked like Post Malone, which hurt Dalton for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And the wrestlers, we all just took turns making fun of his attire.
Yeah.
And goddamn, like it got to a point where it was uncomfortable, and I felt bad. But it's all from a place of love.
Yeah.
I mean, A-Clay got some too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but A-Clay usually gets all of it. And the fact that he didn't get all of it made me sad.
Yeah, that you were the punching bag on this one.
Because then I became A-Clay, and nobody wants to become A-Clay. He doesn't listen, and if he does, he knows I love him.
But you, to be fair, you and Slammer as the Mega Brothers, which I love the name, by the way. The Mega Brothers are a fun tag team. I thought you guys were fun. The handshake, like I don't know, I liked it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. After we got behind the curtain where the wrestlers weren't, it was a lot of fun because then I didn't get shit on as hard. But this was a big match for me because I've wrestled like...
Was this your first title shot in CCW?
Oh, in CCW, yeah. I was about to say, I was a tag champ at one point.
No, I'm talking about CCW.
Yeah, it was my first title shot in CCW. But this was the first match that I've had since the county fair incident with my lip that I've jumped, that I've gotten out of the ring, done anything like that.
Oh, yeah, okay, I got you now. Okay.
And like, for some reason, I was flying all over the place.
You had the spirit of the mach.
Yeah. And like, as we were talking it through, like, I thought in the back of my head, I was like, what if I hit my face again? Which, like, I've never really been afraid of that before.
But now it's in your head?
Well, not anymore, because, like, I did more than I said I was going to do, like, flying-wise. Like, I was going to jump off the apron. I looked, and I was like, Bradley's too tall for me to make this look good. I'm just going to go off the second. and it didn't get hurt. I did the axe handle, which that was landing on my feet, didn't get hurt. I did the elbow drop, almost sat on Bradley's face, but I didn't, and I didn't get hurt.
He had a match for you. Your butt, his face.
I almost had a match for him. But like that was big for me to kind of get past that because I've been legitimately like I've had maybe 10 matches since I got hurt. I say got hurt. It wasn't a major injury, but it was stitches, and it was
you were bloodied. It was scary.
Like you can still see what happened.
Yeah,
and I've like
I'm literally looking at it right now.
Yeah. But
you got those big lips too, so it's pronounced.
Right.
Yeah. Ali, what'd you say you had?
I'm not saying it.
She would say it.
Those DSLs?
Oh, that's not what I was going for. But like it was big for me to like be able to like jump again and not be freaked out by it. Cause like in the back I was worried about it. Like I didn't tell anybody, but I was like, well, Lamont's calling it, so I'm gonna do it. No, but I was pretty happy with the match overall. It was a lot of fun. Like the crowd was into it. Like
that's the important
part. It could have went really sideways really quick, but it didn't,
right.
Which was good. And that's another like kudos to the CCW crowd.
Yeah,
because
it was a good crowd.
They do give us a lot of leeway with kind of the silly stuff that we do and get away with.
Oh yeah, because they could have shit all over you.
Yeah,
if they chose to shit on you, they could have shit all over you.
Yeah, and they didn't. They were behind it.
Right.
They were calling my moves for me because we all know Macho Man.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a whole lot. Slammer has gotten so much better in the ring.
Yeah,
he did great. Like he was an awesome partner to have that night. And then Bradley and Lamont, like
true professionals.
Anytime I get to work with him, I'm happy.
We got the return of Damone Salavino. He came back in the opening match, answered the challenge of Trending Trent Daniels, and gave Trending Trent what for? Because Damone is a beast.
I've wrestled Damone.
I call him Muscle Mountain.
He really is. He caught me in that Codebreaker Alabama Slam once. That dude is ignorantly strong.
He F5'd me with very little effort.
Yeah,
and that's when I realized I was big, was watching the video back and seeing him slam me down, and I went, holy smokes, I'm huge.
Like, he does not, like, he has glamour muscles, but he also has real muscles under him.
Right? He has real muscles under the glamour muscles?
Yeah, because he has a good look. Like,
yeah. No, Damone's phenomenal shape.
muscle-wise.
He's a weird-ass dude. But
I love him to death. So I go up and hug him.
And did he just stare at you like, why are you hugging me?
No, he doesn't even do that anymore. He's so used to me at this point. He's like, what? And I'm just like, I missed you. It's been a couple weeks. Because the joke was anytime I go to a random show that's not in Cape.
Damone's there?
Damone's there. Because I went to Arkansas. And like, he's just carrying his wings in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're fucking wrestling tonight? He's like, you're wrestling tonight? I'm like, well, like, you're here, so I guess.
Old fancy pants going over to OVW and getting all big on us. Look at him.
That was awesome. That's good that he got that, though. That's a good opportunity for anybody.
Justin Smart had his submission match with Dangerous Donnie 6, which... good, because I like both those guys, and I'm curious to see where this goes. They had another brutal match. I didn't get to see a lot of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I want to wrestle Donnie at some point.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You don't want to wrestle either of those guys.
I love wrestling Justin.
Oh, man.
Like, it's a lot of fun.
I think it depends on how many pints he's had in him.
That's fair, yeah.
He's significantly more fun in one spot. And then we had the Hustlers versus the Mega Brothers, which we talked about a second ago. This was the first time I ever got to cut a promo for the Hustlers.
It was good.
I've never got to promo for them, and it was
really good.
It was so much fun because they're so good and they're so prestiged. They really are tag team royalty. We had, what else do we have on that
And it's
show?
also super important to note when you were cutting the promo, they were actively being your hype man during it.
They were hyping me, hyping them.
Yeah, like Bradley.
I think it's an ABBA song. Hyping me, hyping you.
Like Bradley and Lamont are just the silly shit they say.
Yeah.
Their in-betweens are so good. It's like Kofi whenever like Xavier would cut a promo for the New Day and Kofi would say some weird shit.
Yeah.
In between, that's what the Hustlers did for you, and it was good.
Hustlers are my favorites.
What else was there? There was
I'm trying to think of who went
the ladder match.
Was that right after us?
Yeah, the ladder match, which that was the my coin of the night, which was crazy fucking white people. There was 2 matches that encapsulated that saying. The ladder match and the main event. That ladder match was insane.
I didn't get to watch any of it, but I know Cash Borden was in it, so that's all I need to hear.
He was cutting people with paper.
I saw that. He cut Dexter Roswell with the thing.
He got everybody but Brandon.
And Hollis. Hollis asking people when they came out, Allie.
He took a chair and sat in the corner, and SB came out and he pulls him over and says, when you win the title, I will challenge you for it. And then Dexter came out and he asked him the same thing. whenever Cash came out, he started to ask, and then Cash shushed him by putting his finger on his mouth and then kissed his head.
I love Cash.
And then Brandon just completely ignored him.
Brandon Barbwire.
Just completely ignored him, and SB was like, he didn't get to challenge you for if you win the title.
Those guys, they're all talented. I imagine it was a lot of fun. Brandon Barbwire won that one, is the new pure openweight champion, is the second Triple Crown winner in CCW history, right behind Hollis Giroux, which if history dictates, then Austin should be next. Because it went Brandon, Hollis, Austin.
Because it was...
Oh, but now it went Hollis, Brandon, so that doesn't make any sense now.
Yeah, no, it just...
Or maybe it won't happen at all. So
I don't even know who would be next closest. I guess Matthias, if he came back and won the heavyweight.
Did he ever? He was never tag.
Yeah, he was. He was in the Pinnacle during all that.
Yeah,
he defended that belt a lot of times.
They had the circle there.
Yeah.
Billy. If Billy won the title,
of
course Billy's retired now.
Yeah.
But,
I think those are the only two.
We had Reiser coming back to CCW. Reiser teamed up with a returning Mikey, the big Mark Gugliak on campus, to take on the new Casey's Finest. And JJ Skywalker is the name he's not using, which is a real missed opportunity.
No, I think he is, isn't he?
Well, backstage I asked him. I was like, because it was on the call sheet. I was like, so are you going by Skywalker? He's like, no. And then Jason was like, I came up with that. And I thought, so you're Skywalker then, yeah.
Unless he's just JJ Walker and then his middle name is then the nickname is Sky.
That makes sense.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Well, isn't JJ Walker the guy from
Good Times?
Yeah. Dynamite?
Probably. Let me check.
You need to check
but
that.
No, that was JJ's second match. Yeah. And it's really cool to see
it's cool to see him actually getting to do stuff now, as opposed to just being the altar boy for the Wise Church, which I miss them, by the way.
He's able to do a lot of really cool stuff.
I miss Reno and
I do too. Reno and Brandon, maybe. Yeah. They were awesome.
They're so much fun. And then main event.
Good times.
We had Otis Crowley and Jackson Crowley going at it once again. Myself in the corner of Otis Crowley and Raven, ECW legend, in the corner of Jackson Crowley. And it was another match. It was another Crowley match, which means blood, guts.
Crazy fucking white people.
Yeah. Within the first minute or two, as Otis is sitting there, he's got Jackson. I'm doing it now, and I hate it.
I call him Sin 9 times out of 10.
He's got Jackson in like a hold, and I look, and Jackson's bleeding from the mouth, and I'm like going, get him, Otis, get him, choke him out. And then I whisper in, I was like, how the fuck are you bleeding a minute into the match already? And I think Jackson smiled.
The first fucking punch in the cage match.
Yeah, this one was he took almost like a flatliner style into a chair into the corner.
That'll do it.
Yeah, which Raven was holding. And then after the fact, Raven just kind of shrugged like, sorry. Because Raven was both awesome and weird at the same time. I liked him. I dug him. I thought he was a crazy dude. Jackson ended up losing because the Hustlers came out and Raven chased them off. Then I got in the ring and I belted Jackson in the head with the belt, ironically enough. And Otis got the pin, 1, 2, 3. And then after the match, and a lot of people, I posted it on the CCW page, so a lot of people have seen it. It's very widely viewed. Jackson took me to the woodshed with the chair. And what happened was Jason wanted me, and this is insider info, this is why you tune into PW. Jason wanted him to hit his double arm DDT on me in the end to get some of his heat back after the loss. But I didn't feel good. I was right in the middle of my sickness. I actually went to the ER that night.
Yeah.
Because of how bad I felt. But I told Jackson, I'm like, look, I don't feel good. I don't want to bump, like if I don't have to. At least nothing like that. Because I'm afraid I'll throw up. I was literally afraid I was going to throw up. So I said, what if you just hit me with a chair? And he's like, okay. And then I was like, and this was my fault. I said, just go nuts. I told Jackson Crowley, just go nuts with the chair. And don't worry about me. I can take it.
When he was probably already planning on going nuts.
Yeah, I probably didn't have to say it.
Whenever you say go nuts, he's like, oh, so I can go.
He smiled.
I can go.
So then you can see the video on my Facebook or you can see it on CCW's page. He hit me, I think, 12 to 15 times with the chair. And one of the mistakes that I made as a wrestling fan before I knew how wrestling worked was I thought that when you hit people with chairs like that, you would swing over them kind of and hit them on the other side.
I mean, if you're a WWE wrestler, yes.
Yeah, because you clip the mat and that stops some of the pain. Jackson Crowley did not do that. He respected me enough to hit me full on back every single time.
There was also, like, the first chunk of them, you weren't laying all the way down.
That's because Dalton said, give him my back. So I gave him my back.
Yeah, you gave him your back.
So he couldn't hit past you onto the mat because you were off the mat.
And the first time I took a chair shot, the only other chair shot I've ever taken was from Billy Hills. And Billy hit me. He didn't hit me soft, but he didn't crack me. So I expected Billy, and then Jackson full on cracked me. And I've
told you the Justin story, right?
What's that?
Before the street fight, they did the run-in on Billy, and I watched that because I wanted to see how Justin was throwing the chair that night. And I saw that, and I said, well, fuck.
Oh, yeah, because he knocked shit at him.
You should have known, because, like,
And I want to say that this is not a shot at Jackson Crowley. I actually messaged Jackson. Actually, Jackson messaged me many times to make sure I was okay. And I messaged him, and I was just like, thank you. Like, I trusted you because I said it last night on the show. The scariest thing I've ever done in wrestling was lay there and let someone beat you because you have no control. Yeah. If he didn't care about me, he could have hurt me, but he didn't. He took care of me, and yeah, it hurt. Chelsea, a friend of mine, messaged me and she saw the video and she's like, how do you take all that and that not hurt? And I'm like, it fucking hurt.
That's what Mom asked me. She was like, so those really suck, don't they? And I was like,
yeah.
It's a steel chair hitting you in the back.
Yeah, there's no pull to it. Like this isn't fake. It's scripted, sure, but it's not fake.
Now, granted, he's not trying to like maim you.
No, but he was laying in pretty hard shots, and it went on and on for 2 minutes. And you can hear me screaming in agony on the show. And that was, I was playing up to it. He hit me in the elbow because I was stupid and raised my arm, which Dalton told me not to do, to be fair.
I try to look out for you.
And I did anyway. And you can see it in the video. He cracks me right in the elbow. That was the worst part of it. Then he hit me in the head with a bat, which was a plastic bat, thank God. And it looked great. If you watch the video, it looks like a massacre.
Yeah, it was good.
And a lot of people are like, so what now? And my answer is, I don't know. I don't know what now.
Good. I liked it. I enjoyed that whole thing.
I said it's not the same, but to me it was like if the Joker finally pushed Batman to the point that he killed the Joker. That's what happened on Saturday. I pushed Jackson Crowley to the point that he finally snapped and destroyed me. So
I need you.
What's next for me? Nothing.
I need you to read Batman White Knight now, and use that.
Does he
Joker,
do that?
Basically.
I always think of you've seen Return of the Joker, not Return of the Joker, The Dark Knight Returns.
It's my favorite Batman story.
When he doesn't kill the Joker, but like
the Joker kills himself.
He kills himself. He breaks his own neck, and that's kind of the end. That's not quite the same, but that's what I always think of is like
you very much got White Knighted, not Dark Knight Returns.
I got put down, and I think to me, I always thought that's a good end to the story. That is a good end to the story. I came up with you. And it was only a year, but not all stories have to be long. Like some stories are just short and good. Came up with you, rose to power from nothing. I was the Joker. I went from nothing to like the most powerful entity on the show. And then I went so far that someone killed me. The end.
Check us out on Facebook at podzilla1985.com.
So yeah, it was a fun show. The next CCW show is in Delta. It's our last show in November.
The biggest show we do every year. I don't care about I care about Super Show, but this is the most important.
This is the heartfelt show. We don't know the details on it yet, but as soon as we do, we'll let you know, and it should be really good. Tickets are on sale right now, capewrestling.com. We suggest you go pick them up. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. My battery's running low, and we're going to go get some food. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Pro Wrestling Unscripted. Thanks for listening to us ramble for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yep.
Thought we were going to keep it lower than that, but thank God we don't do the recaps anymore.
Yeah,
that shit would be taking forever, and Allie would be sitting here staring at me like this.
It's just Dalton. We can leave.
Hey, Podzilla1985.com if you want to catch up on all the old episodes. We've got everything posted up there, an entire back catalog for you to listen to. 4+ years of content. You can go back and listen to when some of these stories that you may remember were fresh and new and get our takes on them, relive the classics. You can also find us on Spotify. Look up Podzilla 1985. You can listen to the last 100 episodes. It's a great place to listen to. It's my favorite place to listen to. iTunes, Real Radio, what's the hell called? Real Audio, Real Radio. I think it's Real Audio. I don't know. It's something. You can find us pretty much everywhere. Podzilla 1985 is the juggernaut of the podcasting industry, and no one can deny it. You can also head over to patreon.com/Podzilla1985 if you want to donate to the show. $1 gets you all the pre-shows, and we have some other goodies on there. It's always a lot of fun. Lastly, but not leastly, Facebook.com/Podzilla1985. Go on there. Right now, we've got the Monster Bash 2019 Royal Rumble, basically. Well, no, it's more like a King of the Ring bracket that Jesse Kimball has thoroughly fucked because he keeps putting the voting up for weeks at a time.
Well, this last one was for a day.
So,
oh, well, shit, I need to go vote for it.
We need to go vote now. All right, so we're going to reveal the results. Maybe. We boned this one up pretty hard, but we'll get it right next year, assuming we're still not a podcast. We won't be.
We will be. You fucking say that every year.
And I mean it every year. You can go vote. I think right now it's Michael Myers versus The Thing. Get your vote in now. Vote for The Thing.
Yeah, the poll ends as we're ending this recording in 18 hours.
So what is the score right now? Because it was 50-50 when I checked last.
47 Michael Myers, 52 The Thing.
Yes. Good.
And then there's also
That's good shit, pal.
Freddy versus Dracula.
Oh, Freddy's dominating that, right?
69-31.
Wait. What is it?
I just voted 70
it's
to 30.
70 to
You
30.
son of a bitch.
I didn't know it was the goddamn sex poll.
That was the sex Freddy. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to see you tomorrow for the very last episode of Something Horror Show. For
Are you not doing one on Halloween?
No, we're taking the day
okay.
off because we're actually going to be at home serving up candy to children. What kind of candy, kids? You got to come to my house to find out. Where do I live? Fuck you. Bye, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.